Hey, what's up guys, it's Ronald here. So this video is going to focus on a very opinionated American that is married to a South African that is very upset with Afrikaners deciding to want to relocate to the United States under Trump's refugee resettlement program. I think he very much believes that white people do not deserve to be allowed this refugee status in the United States. So let's have a listen. Firstly, I'd like to say, buddy, grow a beard, because that chin is very, very weak. I would say keep your chin up, but there is none, so never mind. But let's have a listen to what you've got to say.
To all of the South African Afrikaans refugees that are coming to America soon, I just want to let you know, as someone whose wife is Afrikaans, who's been to South Africa multiple times.
Okay, so you are married to a white Afrikaner. Okay, just keep that in your thoughts.
You're going to have a bad time. There's no white genocide happening in South Africa.
Okay, how would you know? Have you looked at Gregory Stanton's 10 stages of genocide? Have you looked at every of the 10 stages and seen how many of those South Africa ticks? Because if you did, you would see 8 out of the 10 boxes has been ticked. Now, I'm not sure if you are one of those people that believe that you can only say a genocide is happening once it's too late and a genocide is happening. You know, like you act as if in World War II, Germany just suddenly woke up one day and said, let's kill as many Jews as we can. You know, there was no desensitizing the population. There were no slow progress towards a genocide, right? So because there is no genocide as of the 12th of May 2025, you now want to almost proclaim that there'll never be one. But then once you are proven wrong, it's already too late, because then there are many, many white people that has been killed in South Africa. So your explanation and your reasoning is don't say anything, don't speak out until it happens. And then once it happens and thousands of people, maybe tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people's lives could have been saved, they should have just shut up until an actual genocide took place. That's your reasoning. But okay.
You have crime that's happening as a result of racism fueled.
What? You have crime that's happening? Let's get this in context here.
Genocide happening in South Africa. You have crime that's happening as a result of racism fueled generational economic inequality. The same thing that's happening.
What?
Bad time. There's no white genocide happening in South Africa. You have crime that's happening as a result of racism.
I'm going to pause it at every single time. So we've got crime because of racism. So we don't have crime because people are stealing because they want to enrich themselves or any other reason. It's purely because of racism. So we've got 84 murders a day in South Africa because of racism. But hey, it's not black on white racism. It's white on black racism.
Fueled generational economic inequality.
Generational economic inequality. Okay, so everything that's wrong in South Africa today, 31 years after we became a democracy, is still the fault of white people, according to you. So every crime committed in South Africa is not because of a black person being a black person, or a colored person being a colored person, or a white person being a white person that so happens to want to steal something or kill somebody or do any crime. It is because of racism and inequality from many, many decades ago. Gotcha. Makes perfect sense.
The same thing that's happening in America. We're just a couple decades ahead of you on the unchecked capitalism timeline. But I have good
ahead of us? No, my friend. Come and live here in South Africa and check how communism works out, because you look like you're a massive fan of communism/socialism. Come and live here. You know, if you hate capitalism so much, come and live here and check how things are in South Africa.
Good news for you. You don't have to worry about the cheap exploited labor rising up against you anymore, because now that you're in America, you'll get to be the cheap exploited labor.
Whoa there, just like you selling this to us. Be careful, because in South Africa, there's 142 race-based laws that prevent white people from getting jobs in this country. And we've got a broadened unofficial unemployment rate of 45%. And an official rate, I believe, of 36, 37%. So, hey, you convincing me, eh? Watch out.
If you were middle class or upper middle class in South Africa and you come to America, you're poor now.
Okay. Just for interest's sake, for you, if you live in South Africa, there is a very big chance that you could get murdered or become a victim of a crime. Because there's 84 murders a day in South Africa, and every few seconds there is a violent sexual assault that takes place. So I think that a lot of people don't really care about what class they are. They just want to not become a crime statistic. So you are clearly already demonstrating just how clueless you are with what is happening in South Africa. The fact that you think that anybody actually cares what class they fall into, rather than they want to move to the United States to not be discriminated against and not become a crime statistic. I mean, really, like, you clearly do not know what you're talking about with regards to how white South Africans feel and why a lot of white South Africans took up Donald Trump's offer of the refugee status.
Like, really poor. You're not going to have maids.
My friend, you don't know what really poor is. Like, I mean, please, you've got 4% unemployment in the United States, all right? You don't know the first thing about poor. And I'm not just referencing white people here, even though there are many, many poor white people. Come and have a gander over here in South Africa what poor really looks like. Until then, just shut up.
And gardeners and personal servants that you can pay $15 a day for. Now you get to be the cheap labor.
Great. If that means a white person can get a job because they're competent enough and not because of the color of their skin, I think every person that moves to the United States is willing to take up that offer.
By all means, please come to America and experience the American capitalism that Elon Musk's been raving about to you. You'll probably love it.
Okay, we definitely have a wokey over here. It's amazing. So you hate capitalism and you prefer communism and socialism. Well, what are you doing in the United States? You said you have a white Afrikaans wife. Why didn't the two of you resettle to South Africa then? Why are you in the United States if you're so unhappy?
You know, what do I know? There's probably very little chance that you'll end up going back to South Africa in a year or two after realizing how overpriced and fucked up America is. That's...
You can see this guy never lived in South Africa. You can see this guy never experienced one day in South Africa trying to find a job or taking these kids to school. This guy thinks he's selling us a bad sort of concept. Meanwhile, he's just making it sound more attractive. It's absurd.
I wouldn't even worry about that as a possibility.
And then the sarcasm just doesn't work. Like, dude, please.
And if you think I'm being mean to these people because I think they're a bunch of racist, bigoted colonizers who wish they could go back to apartheid South Africa, it's just because I do think that.
Wow. So everybody that has taken up this offer, according to you, are racist colonizers that want apartheid back. Tell me you know nothing about South Africa without telling me that you know nothing about South Africa. Right over here. So, according to him, every single white person that will be taking up that offer to relocate to the United States is what again?
Colonizers who wish they could go because I think they're a bunch of racist, bigoted colonizers who wish they could go.
Racist, bigoted colonizers. So you hear that, South Africa. Every white person that wants a better life for themselves, for their children, that don't want to live in fear because of the 84 murders a day and a violent sexual crime every few seconds, because you want a better life for yourself where you can find a job and you don't have to worry about your race, you are a racist, bigoted colonizer. Like talking about stereotypes, right? He's literally stereotyping everybody that's deciding to take up this offer without knowing anything about their backgrounds. Like nothing. So, I mean, a young professional that studies to be a doctor in South Africa that now wants to take up the offer and go overseas. That person's also a racist. An engineer, a dentist, a teacher. All of these individuals, according to him, is a racist, bigoted colonizer that misses apartheid.
Go back to apartheid South Africa. It's just because I do think that. But to them, I say, welcome to the American dream. Please let me know when you've woken up from it.
Cool. Okay. Quick question. You said you're married to a white Afrikaans woman, right? What is she doing in the United States? Did she also flee for a better life because she is a racist, bigoted colonizer that misses apartheid? Because, I mean, that's what you said. So, are you also admitting that your wife are all the things that you just described? Because why else would she be in the United States? Why isn't she living here in South Africa? Why did you not relocate to South Africa? If you found this beautiful white Afrikaans lady in the United States, like, why did you not come back to South Africa? Why didn't you bring her back? Because according to you, in your own video, you said that she's there because she is a racist, bigoted colonizer that misses apartheid. I think you're going to have some issues with your wife later when she sees this video, especially after you stereotyped her in that manner. Well, of course, that is unless she is also a wokie, because then perfect match. You know, and it's always the same situation of it's equality after me, you know. So she is allowed to go to the United States. She's allowed to marry an American. She's allowed to live the life. But hey, anybody else after that arrives, no, they are racists, bigoted, colonizers, missing apartheid. Make it make sense. And that's pretty much all I got to say. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please be sure to smash the like button. Please be sure to subscribe. Please be sure to share this video far and wide because, hey, I can't be the only one that laughs at this woke American that just belittled and insulted his wife, who is a white Afrikaans lady. Lastly, if you enjoy my content, then please consider becoming a member. You can do so by clicking the join button below. And that's all I got to say. Till later, everybody. Cheers and peace out.
You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say, I wear my massacre. You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say, I wear my massacre. I wear my massacre. You don't even know me, but every time you see me, you say, I wear my massacre. I wear my massacre.